Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 24th of October for the Sun or the Ascendant. This is a crackerjack week. There's so much going on. I'm really excited to share it with you. What I'm going to do is give you the overall strands which influence us all collectively, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you each of the 12 zodiac signs in much greater detail, from Aries through to Pisces. So as we start this week, Saturn has ended its retrograde, but it remains in a very attritional right angle with Uranus. So I need to explore that for each of the signs. We also have the Sun and Venus have moved together into the sign of Scorpio. Now, the Sun in Scorpio is very much about transformations. It's where we're most invested or devoted. But Venus technically is not at its best in the sign of Scorpio. But of course, it did have that magical connection with the Sun last Saturday, where they were exactly side by side. So the potential to continue a dialogue around a relationship matter is there, but I think what we get now is much more into the deeper analysis, the real politic of what some relationships are about, and perhaps the real politic about our longer term financial situation too. Now, of course, we have the partial solar eclipse on Tuesday, which on the face of it does give us some opportunities. But it works in tandem with the total lunar eclipse of the 8th of November, which is truly astonishingly tough. So I think we are about to see a massive reset globally. When it comes to energy consumption, the price of things, the cost of fuel and foodstuffs have all been going up, but I don't think we've seen the end of how this restructuring is going to play out. However, on Friday, Jupiter, the planet of growth, retreats in its retrograde back into one of the two signs that it governs, the sign of Pisces, where its rulership is a much more spiritual dimension. It's going to continue the retrograde until November the 23rd, but it will stay in Pisces through to the 20th of December and return to Aries. So there may be something of a deep and contemplative strand that we really need to consider quite carefully through this change. Now on Sunday, Mars slams on the brakes, goes into a retrograde through to the 12th of January. But it's going to stay in the sign of Gemini through to the 25th of March. But for the whole of October, the whole of November, it is within 3 degrees in a square with Neptune. And that's creating quite a lot of distortion. So that's something else I need to explore for each of the 12 signs for you. So please stay with me. You can see an enormous amount of celestial action. If you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you would like to understand what year 2023 will hold for you personally, if you give me 3 pieces of your birth data, of time, date and place, I can give you your forecast for next year, but if you order it in 22, you'll get the rest of this year 3. But in my special package, you can also get your life roadmap, your character analysis, which can help you to understand some of the repetitive patterns in your existence, but also how you can perhaps change some of the more challenging ones, but also work with the more encouraging energy in a much more productive way. And there's 30% off. Please see the link below. So Aquarius, your week commencing the 24th of October forecast sees your 2 ruling planets continuing the rather stressful relationship, which will go on until around about the 3rd of December within 3 degrees. And then things will lighten, but Saturn has started to go forward. So the end of last week's energies are really important, because I feel if you have been feeling a great sense of limitation in terms of your personal expression, and home, family or emotional issues have been part of the problem, things are going to start to resolve themselves now in a much more positive way. Now, that partial solar eclipse occurs in the most visible part of your situation, known as the 10th house or the midheaven. This is where we connect with the wider world. If you have any planets right at the start of Scorpio, then this could actually be even more influential for you. But for Aquarians collectively, there is a chance to draw greater attention to your activities, but also gain greater recognition. But your people skills, your principles that thread into a lot of what you do can be just as important as your actual acumen or talents or approach, goals or ambitions. So the ability to get on well with people, or contacts or relationships that have been built up over a long period of time, can come back to you really positively over the next 6 months, but possibly even this week. And also with Jupiter, though still in a retrograde, return into your second solar house, this too on Friday gives you an enhancement there, particularly around everyday money. Maybe things won't go quite in the way you expect. Jupiter can be quite random through its influence of Sagittarius. Its influence of Pisces is much more spiritual. Perhaps you'll start to count even greater blessings from what you already have, even if in other ways money is not readily available. Now, of course, Neptune is in this area. It is in a tense right angle with Mars, and Mars does go retrograde towards the end of this week. So it's not a time to be too free and easy with resources, or ironically too free and easy with affections. So if you have been very helpful and supportive to people since Neptune moved into Pisces in 2012, it really wouldn't be a surprise. But at the moment, you're asked to check everything out, and perhaps Jupiter in its retrograde can help to give you the means to do that research. But talking of Jupiter, it does go forwards on the 23rd. So the 23rd of November, through till the 20th of December, some real better and surprising good news around finance could manifest itself at that point. Yet with Mercury in your 9th house of philosophy, travel, expansion, in a tense right angle with Pluto, there could be a clash between you and someone this week who sees things very differently to you. And because you can be very principled in your approach, if you're seeing something around their behaviour which you feel is a motivating factor that you don't feel is particularly attractive, you may not hold back from fronting up how you see things. And I think, again, if you can use Venus in a shrewd way, Venus can help you to present your message with a degree of delicacy and diplomacy, which can actually enhance your approach rather than looking like that you're just being difficult because you see something in a different way.